Hi, I'm Dr. Ravinder. You are watching a series of lectures on microprocessor and microcontrollers. In this video lecture, I'll be covering up a topic on address demultiplexing. We will see in this video what exactly the demultiplexing process is, why do we need demultiplexing of the addresses. So all those issues will be seen in this video lecture. The contents that I'll be covering up in this video are a review of the 8085 pin diagram, the requirements of interfacing the memory with the 8085, the address demultiplexing process itself, and the interfacing of the memory with the 8085 unit. Let us see them one by one. Taking a recap of the IC 8085 IC pin diagram. 8085 IC is a 40 pin IC as we know, with the pin number 1 on the left side when you hold with the notch or the dot marking on the top, and it goes down to pin number 20 and 21 to 40 on the right side. What we are interested in this video lecture is about demultiplexing process. Why exactly we require demultiplexing? Internally, the designers or developers of 8085, they have multiplexed certain pins with other pins. That means internally some of the pins having dual function or multi-functions. So this concept of a single pin having multiple functions is called as a multiplexing. But in real world, we have to have these pins separately. So by multiplexing the pins internally, the developers of the 8085, they are able to reduce the pin count on the 8085. And when the pin count reduces, the size of the IC reduces, and hence the cost of the IC comes down, because the cost and size is directly proportional to the number of pins on any IC. So here in the 8085, as you can see, pin number 12 to pin number 19, the signals are named as AD, that is AD0 to AD7. A stands for address and D for data. That means these pins are internally used in multiplex mode for the address and the data. The same set of pins internally, they carry the address, and the same set of pins internally, they carry the data. But in real world, we have to separate them out. So how this separation or demultiplexing is achieved is by this concept. As seen in the diagram, internally AD0 to AD7, that is the address A0 to A7 and data D0 to D7, they are combined or multiplexed internally. But in real world, with the help of an IC, which is a latch 74LS373, an 8-bit latch, so with the help of this, we are able to separate the address bus and the data bus. So how is this demultiplexing achieved? Another interesting thing to note is, we know that 8085 is a 16-bit address. There are 16 address lines on the 8085. However, the 8085 itself is an 8-bit microprocessor. 8-bit microprocessor means the data size, the word length of the 8085 is 8-bit, whereas it can address up to 64 kilobytes of memory. And to address 64 kilobytes of memory, we require 16 address lines, that is A0 to A15. So this A and D has to be separated so that we purely get a pure address space of A0 to A15, a 16-bit pure address, and data separated as D0 to D7. On the 8085 pin number 30, is assigned a name ALE. Pin number 30 is ALE. This ALE stands for Address Latch Enabled. So the purpose of this pin number 30, which is ALE, Address Latch Enable, is to enable this latch or to select this particular latch. So the function of the ALE is as a chip select or chip enable. So once this chip has been selected or once this chip has been enabled, then all the input lines which are input to the 74LS373 will act as a address lines, and we will latch them at the output so that we only have A0 to A7. At other times, when the 74LS is not latched, the content of the AD0 AD7 are treated as the data and they are taken out separately called as a D0 to D7. So thus, with the help of ALE and a latch which is selected with the ALE, we are able to latch the address on the output of this LS7373 and the data as a data bus separately. Now, as can be seen in this diagram, we have purely a 16-bit address space A0 to A7. A8 to A15 is not required to be latched. This is directly available from the 8085. But the low order, since it was internally multiplexed, so we have demultiplexed it externally. Now, this was the requirement for interfacing the memory with the 8085. So that means the requirement of the memory was you have a separate 16-bit address lines and a separate 8-bit data lines. And that we have achieved by the demultiplexing process. Let us now see how this demultiplexed address and data bus can be used in interfacing or in addressing or in reading and writing the memory unit by the 8085. This diagram shows you a memory unit. Let's suppose this is a 4 kilobyte of the memory unit. Let me give an annotation here that this memory size that I am showing here is a 4 kilobyte. And now we know that 4 kilo address space is addressed by 12 address lines. So we require 12 address lines to address this 4 kilobyte of memory. But what do you have with the 8085? We have 16 bits of the address space available to us, of which the 8 bits address space A0 to A7 has come from the latch output, and the other A8 to A15 are available directly from the 8085. But the requirement in this case for 4 kilobyte is only the 12-bit address space. So of this 16-bit, we require only the 12 address space, that is A0 to A11. So where the other lines A12 to A15 will go? The other 4 lines A12 to A15, that is A12, A13, A14 and A15. So these 4 lines, these are used here for generating the chip select line. Because we know unless the memory is selected, unless the memory is enabled, we cannot perform the read and write operation of the memory. So these 4 lines are used for generating the chip select lines, and the rest 12 lines are used for generating the 12 address lines for the 4 kilobyte of memory unit. The other control signals, memory read and memory write for the memory unit, they are generated with the help of the IOM bar, which is directly available on the 8085, the read bar and the write bar. So these three pins of the 8085, they are connecting to the control logic for generating the memory read and the memory write signal. Thus, when the processor generates a load on the IOM bar, so the memory related operation will be selected, and whether the write bar or the read bar is low, accordingly either a memory read or a memory write operation will be performed. So in a nutshell, this demultiplexing of the buses help us in generating the 16 independent wires for the address bus and 8 bidirectional lines, which is D7 to D0, a bidirectional data bus. So once the address are available and the control signals are generated, the data will be either written into the 80 into the memory unit, or this will be read out from the memory for reading into the 8085 microprocessor. So this is all in the this video. Thank you.